All right, there we go. We're back. So a good connection is of primary importance. So we are inside where I'm closer to connection. So today, talking about a very important subject today. We are talking about, hey Roma and Terry, great. We're talking about fear and the fastest remedy for fear. So there's a lot of reasons, obviously, that people are afraid today. And so this is what I'm going to talk about, some of the reasons. And just as a heads up, we won't be doing any checking on your energies. This is strictly about this subject today. And then we're going to do a really thorough MediClearing. So we'll be clearing all the energies that are getting stirred up as I'm talking. So just notice a couple things I need you to know. Probably the most important things as I'm doing this is that one, the energies that are getting stirred up are not yours. And two, there was a second thing. Well, these energies can be released, but okay, it'll come. All right, so I have some notes, and we'll see about how that goes. But a lot of reasons for people to be afraid today, right? We have the election. People are wondering and worried about how that's going to turn out. And so no matter what side you're on, there's going to be unhappy people. And this is all by design. This is all been created to divide people, to keep them stirred up and angry. Because this energy of fear is a very important energy that the 1% feeds on. So since they're cut off from pure source energy, they need a fuel source. And so they feed off of these darker energies of fear and anger and worry and stress and anxiety. They love all that. And so this is what they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So these fears are not yours. That's the good news. There's a few things about fear that you need to know, because a lot of people don't even realize that they're afraid, that they're holding all this fearful energy. And there's a couple of reasons. One is that we haven't learned to identify fear. Like growing up, maybe we had permission to be angry, but we didn't have permission to be afraid. Like we were never taught how to identify that we were feeling fearful. And so we never really had permission to be afraid. And then some people might be thinking that fear is like, going off of a roller coaster or jumping out of an airplane. Like that's more like terror. That's terrifying. And so we're talking about fear that can show up in so many ways. And so these are some of the ways you might be more able to recognize fear showing up in your life. Like it might just be making you feel tired. So fear is designed to stop you, right? It's designed to kind of keep you in a paralyzed state. So there's varying degrees of that. You could just be tired. You could be unmotivated. Maybe you're just completely distracted by the internet or all kinds of things. Anything that takes you out of your core, out of that center core, so that you don't become solution-oriented. So fear can show up in so many different ways. And so, a lot of people don't even recognize that they have this fear. And then another thing is that a lot of people, in order to cope with fear, they don't occupy their bodies all the way. So, some people who maybe they don't take drugs or they're not drinking or, things like that to get out of their bodies and to avoid what they're feeling. There's lots of ways people avoid what they're feeling. And one of those is by not occupying your body all the way. So this is really critical because it's in our bodies, this highly tuned vessel, it's like a tuning fork that, just a second, this is important. Sorry about that. Okay, so why is it doing that? This rabbit is very... Okay, hang on. Just 1 second. Okay. Distractions, great goodness. We'll talk about distractions. So the rabbit is eating his house, and he just got plenty of food, so I don't know what his thing is. Anyway, where was I? We weren't in our bodies, that's right. So fear can keep us out of our bodies, and then we don't really know what's going on inside of our bodies. And it's really important because this is where all the information that we get is coming from, inside of our bodies. And if we're not connected to our bodies, we're not going to be able to hear the messages that are coming in. And the messages are getting louder and they're getting stronger. So Spirit is really turning up the dial on guiding us and directing us. But if we're not at home to receive the messages, then we won't be very effective, will we? And especially if, we're a coach or a leader, somebody who leads other people, that it's really important that we fully occupy our bodies. And another thing about fear is that it's often masked by anger. So those are the two biggest energies that are debilitating people today. Is anger, which people have more permission to have, and people are very angry right now, very angry, and this is often masking what's going over the fears. And so you've got both of these energies, which the 1% loves, and this is what is feeding this 1% energy. And we all know how damaging stress can be for the bodies. In fact, they say that this is a very high percentage of many diseases is because of all the stress we've been holding and carrying in our bodies. So this plandemic, I'll call it that, because I know that it is a planned event and thing that's happening on the planet. And so when people are filtering and looking out into the world and into their lives, but they're carrying so much fear and so much anger, when you look out into the world through that's all you're going to see, is more fearful things and more things to make you angry. And this is the opposite of the high vibration where all of your dreams and desires exist. It's also the opposite of wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So super important that we maintain these high vibrations. There is, let's see, a couple other things. I just want to make sure I'm covering all of the things I wanted to talk about. Yes, I did a couple of measurements before I started this, because I wanted to see, like on the planet, because this is a global event. This is not just something that's happening in the United States where I'm living, but this is a global event, right? And this is one of the ways that they've been operating. And when I say they, I'm talking about the 1%, that oppressive influence we're feeling, is that they, I just had a great thought. A little distracted. See, even I'm distracted. This 1%, we were measuring how much fear. So on the planet, there globally, there's a lot of fear. And I measured that globally, people are in about 95% fear. And here's the thought I was going to say, is that the fact that this is so big, is that in and of itself is why a lot of people believe that what's going on is true. Because they can't conceive of the idea that so many people will be affected around the world. Everybody is wearing masks. Everybody is participating in this. And they can't imagine that this would be a big conspiracy if that were the case. Like, how could that possibly be? And that's the cognitive dissonance that happens. It's like we can't even imagine that there's this huge influence on the planet that could be this powerful. But this is the truth of it. Is so 95% of the planet has this fear, and in California, where I live, it's like at 100%. This is a very oppressed state. People are leaving in droves because it's just gotten so crazy. And I'm part of why I'm talking a lot about the things that are making you afraid is to stir up what's this fear. So somebody calling, I forgot to disable that. Talk about distractions. Wow, right? So that important thing that I was just going to tell you just disappeared again. It will come back though. And this is how fear works. As it's I'm helping you stir up fear. Okay, so here it is. I can't stir up in you something that does not already exist. So that is probably the most important thing. If you hear anything else, the two most important things is I can't activate anything here in you that doesn't already exist. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you're saying that, and it's just it's making me angry," or you're just saying that to make people angry. Why would you say those things if it makes people angry? So I'm not making you angry. That's super important that you understand that. I'm only stirring up what already exists. And so that is probably the number one thing that I wanted you to know, remember today. And the second important thing is that this energy is not yours. So the 1% and the actual mechanics of how they do this, I don't know. But what I do know is that they can, just like when someone is energetically courting to you, maybe you've experienced this enough to know that when someone is energetically courting to you, that you're going to feel their energies. There's a chapter in my book where I talk all about chords and all the effects that they have on every one of your energy centers and how it can affect you. And so in the same fashion, this 1% can get into our energy field, and there's very specific places where they tend to hang out, which one is in the 15th layer of our aura. That's way far out of most people's awareness. And then out in the 30th layer, that's where the reptilians hang out. So they are in our energy field, and this is what's causing us to think things that are not our thoughts, to feel things that are not our feelings. In fact, 95% of what you think and feel is not yours. So we've been trained, though, that if we think it, if we feel it, it must be ours. And so that is completely not true. And the way that you'll know that what I'm saying is true is if you stick with me here until the end, you're going to feel the effects of the fastest remedy for removing and releasing fear in your energy field. So if you guys have any questions about fear and exactly about what we're talking about, post that, because I'd like to also address some of your concerns or things that maybe you don't quite understand about what I'm talking about. And again, I'm not doing any scans on people today. We saved that for Tuesdays. But if you have a question about what I'm talking about, post it and I will take a peek. So let me just see. Hey, Janice, Roma. Fear, it is a powerful tool. Bring the rabbit. Yes, we're going to get grounded. Roma says, it's not for us to get lost in it, but instead get aware and make different choices. Love you bringing it all up. Thank you. You're so welcome. Yes, so we are stirring the pot here on purpose so that we can find more of the fear that's lingering and lurking. Sherry, nice having you here. Biz Marketing, I'm not sure who that is, but Azalea, Pete, great, nice having you here. Yes, thank you, Biz Marketing. This is a really important message, and I see it every day, you know, and oftentimes when we try to bring truth to people, this is where you see fear show up the most. That creates that cognitive dissonance. They can't handle what you're saying because it's so out of alignment with the path that they've been on. So this is all by design. The social media is owned by 4 corporations, which is really governed by this 1% energy. And it's no wonder that the most important message that the president has ever given was not covered by mainstream media. What does that tell you? And so this is why people are confused. They're being fed half-truths, outright lies, so that when you try to bring them the truth, they can't see it. They can't see it. They make you wrong. They're going to call you a fucking idiot. I just had that just the other day. So I stay in amusement. That's one of my remedies for this. But what we're going to do today is we're going to find where fear is living in your energy field so that we can eliminate it, at least for now. This is not something, wave a magic wand and it's gone forever. No, this is like an ongoing thing, just like brushing your teeth. You have to do that every day, right? So this 1% is persistent. They are not going away anytime soon. Like, things are still crashing, right? We have not gotten to the bottom yet. And so even that thought in and of itself might scare you. But that's the reality, and that's why I've been given all this information to share at this time on the planet, where we need it the most. And these tools, it's the fastest way, and it's simple, but it does need to be repeated on an ongoing basis. So you can, before I get into this, and while I'm remembering, because I often forget these things, is there's a couple things that you can do to maintain this. So one, there's a free 20-minute meditation in the links both on Instagram and Facebook. So help yourself to that. Practice that every day. It'll help eliminate these energies. And then there's also, in fact, this is what I was going to recommend as far as an added layer that you can do if you find that you're one of the people that are sort of taken over by fear and you're not in your bodies and you're find yourself being angry a lot, is there is a mini breakthrough course. It's called I'm Ready for My Breakthrough. And it has a very powerful meditation in there and some exercises, a really powerful written exercise that's done over 3 days. And so I wanted to tell you about this now because tonight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in my opinion, is the best time to do this exercise, this written exercise. So it's all about how to find and release the anger in your energy field through a written exercise. Super powerful, and it's done over 3 days so that you're telling your energy field and your spirit that I've got a safe place to release all this fear and anger. So I want you to, I encourage you to, it's an invitation, to get this breakthrough. It's only a $19 thing. It's very small investment, if you want to call it that. It's, you can go out to dinner for more than that. But at any rate, super powerful. And if you are one of those people who are completely broke, you just are scraping your last 2 nickels together, then come back and listen to the meditation portion of this and the free meditation online. So that is, I just wanted to say that before I forget. So let's get started on releasing the fear and anger, mostly fear. We're going to be working on that primarily. But anger is going to show up too. They kind of work like sister cousins. So let me measure fear before we get started. And anger, those are the 2 main ones I'm going to be focusing on today. And the other thing I want you to do is to pay attention to how you're feeling in your body right now. Is there anxiety? Does it feel like you're not completely present? Do you feel, maybe you feel angry? So let's measure these. So the fear right now, for those of you who are on right now and those of you who will be showing up in the future to listen to this, it is at 95%. So we are 95%, and then anger 100%. So let's go ahead and find where all of these energies are. So we are going to first establish a grounding cord. That's that line of energy goes from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet. This, we're going to get ultra grounded here. So some of you think you might know how to get grounded, but apparently not, or it's not effective when you have 95 and 100% anger and fear. So this is much more effective, and this right here at your root is where you hold most of these fear and anger energies. So we're putting down that good grounding cord. We're bringing the earth energy up through the legs. Okay, great. Good. And then let's clear that worry circle. So that's that circle of energy that radiates out around that root chakra. This is what holds all the fear and anger and worry and anxiety. That's why I call it the worry circle. So let's pull this circle in. And as we're doing this, just keep breathing and releasing as you're sending this anger and fear down the grounding. Take a good deep breath. We're just going to anchor this. Okay, great. So now let's start bringing pure source energy down through your creative rings. You have between 3 and 50 stacked above your head. This holds your dreams and your desires. So let's start bringing pure source down through these rings so that you can recalibrate this in your highest and best interests. As we bring that energy down through the crown, 6. So right at that 6th chakra, so these are the beliefs that are holding the fear in place. We're going to manifest the things that we think about the most often with the greatest intensity for the longest duration. That's how the 1% has set the energy right now. All fear, anger, it's persistent. And that also creates a lot of confusion because this is how you see the world, right? So let's go out to that 3rd layer. It's that belief that you're powerless, that there's nothing you can do about this. And what you can do is you can master your own energy. This is what we do here every Tuesday and Friday. And this is what I do every day with clients that I work with. So very effective and very powerful. Whew. Okay, good. Let's send that down the grounding cord so that can be recycled back into something more useful. As we bring pure source down through that 6th chakra, 6, 5, so right at the throat, out to that 3rd layer. So that's where all the energy that is stuck, that says we don't want to hear what you have to say, And if you say something, we're going to censor it because we're not going to allow truth to be delivered to the ears that need to hear it. So let's just pull in all that energy at the throat. 5th layer, 5th chakra. So there's a lot, it's like a chokehold. They've got this chokehold on us. And all that fear gets stuck in your throat. Whew. Yeah, it's a fear of speaking up. And so one of the things we did today in our, we do a day, right now I'm in the process of doing a daily meditation with a group. We'll be starting the next round January 11th. But today we were focusing on the past lives where we were killed for being powerful. And so these are a lot of energies right here at the throat. This is the most common place you can be killed, right? So let's pull in these energies, because this is bumping up against old energies of past times when we were killed for speaking our truth. I'm just going to dump that down the grounding. Okay, great. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. So now you're vertically aligned. This is the most powerful alignment. Take a deep breath into that and really feel and anchor into that powerful connection way up high to pure source energy, deeply connected into our Mother Earth. Okay, great. Let's mix these two energies, heaven and earth. So pure source coming down the backside, earth energy coming up through the legs. We're going to bring this up the front. And if some of you feel confused by this, I tend to go a little faster. That's kind of the point, is that we can go further faster. If you still feel confused, like I don't know where she's at, what is she talking about? My book, which is available on Amazon, that just came out, explains this entire process in great detail with illustrations. So I encourage you to get that as well. So as we're bringing this up through the 2nd chakra, 1, 2, goes all the way out to the 15th layer. So this is where the 1%, 1 wants you to create for them, because this is our creative center. 2, this is where they instill and put energetically in your energy field the energies of fear and anger. So this is the 2nd chakra processes those two energies. So let's pull that in. Okay, great. So as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up the front through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th crown, through all the rings, and then cascading down through all the layers of your aura. Let's pay special attention to the 3rd layer. So this would be more of that paralysis energy, that energy that makes you feel tired and distracted and unmotivated. We're just going to send all of that down the grounding. Great. Nice having you here, Milo. Let's jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom as we lift this up and out through, it's mostly up around the top, 6th and 7th. Okay. And then, 15, then we're going to jump out to the 30th layer. This is where the reptilian energy hangs out, which is what controls the 1%. So let's lift, so this right here, this whole layer is congested, starting all the way from the bottom. So we're going to lift this heavy energy, all this fear, all this anger, all this oppressive energy up out of this 30th layer of our aura, and especially up around the throat. Great. Just keep breathing and releasing as we're lifting this energy up so that we can send it through the central core and off planet. This is where we've been directed to send these energies now. And then let's check your circle of reciprocity, so the rest of the aura. Actually, there's one more layer. So this is a layer I don't usually clear, or it's not usually, doesn't speak too loudly to get clear, but it makes sense because this is where we're all headed. Out to the 40th layer of our aura is where oneness exists. So oneness is not just some happy kumbaya thing that would be nice. It's an actual energy that exists, that we actually are all made of the same stuff. All lives matter. And that, because out in this 40th layer, there are no divisions. There are no separations. We are all made of that same stardust. And so once we get out to this 40th layer, like we're clear all the way from our inner core all the way out to this 40th layer, this is where we can experience this oneness of unconditional love. So this is where we're all headed, but we have all these other energies preventing us from getting all the way out there, right? So we are going to clear the 40th layer. So starting at the top, all the way down. So it's mostly around the third chakra, so not allowing us to step into our permission. Okay, great. And our power to all be one. Okay, 40. So now let's clear that circle of reciprocity out, that right arm. So it's stopping right at the shoulder. So part of that fear stops us from giving. And giving is what starts the circle of reciprocity. You give, you receive. And we're in charge of both of these. And we're going to receive as much as we allow. But first, let's clear that giving side on that right side, giving masculine energy coming out that right arm. So this includes the upper four chakras, heart, throat, sixth, crown, all of your rings coming out that right arm. And then as you join your fingertips together, we're going to bring it up the left arm, the receiving feminine side, allowing, surrendering, not controlling. So some of the fears that we've been clearing out today is that fear of losing control, the fear of your own power, the fear of the unknown, fear of the future, fear of dying. And so these are all specific energies that can be found in your energy field. When I'm working with clients, I'm looking for specific energies to each person, because you all carry little different flavors of these. Crown, great. So that's the basics of running your energy. Let's measure fear and anger now, because you released a lot of stuff. So pay attention, number one, to how you're feeling in your body right now. Maybe a little more present, a little more calm. Let's see where fear and anger is now. Okay, so fear is still at 50%. So let's see where the rest of that is. And so this is the benefit of the infinity system that my book is all about, is that measuring, like we just did that whole thing, right? Well, like, oh, that's supposed to clear all the energies. Well, we didn't get all of it. So this is the benefit of measuring getting very specific, getting very precise and accurate about how much you're still holding in your energy field, because precision matters. Try sailing around the world without precision, like maybe just following the stars, maybe you'll get there, maybe you won't. Or building a foundation. If you don't have precision at the very foundational level, everything above that is going to be off. Or a recipe, so precision matters. Anyway, let's see where the rest of that fear is. So right here in your sixth chakra, you're still holding some beliefs about feeling powerless. I'll be more specific about the fears that we're clearing here. So one is a fear of being controlled, a fear of losing your power, which is sort of the same thing, a fear of your own power. Whew, that's a big one. And then fear of the unknown, fear of the future. And so a lot of these fears put you out in the future so that you're not present in present time. You're out in the future worrying about things that haven't happened yet. This is all part of how we're being programmed. So let's pull in these fears so that you can be in present time, in this present moment where your hair's not on fire, right? You're not starving to death, and no one has a gun at your head. Whew. So let's get present and be grateful for where you are in this present moment, and start realizing that there's so much to be grateful for. And when you start thinking about that, that helps to get you in this present moment. Okay, so now I'm going to measure fear again. Okay, so now it's at 0. Can you feel that shift? Can you feel like a little more calm, like in your body, like everything's going to be okay, kind of an energy? Until you start entertaining those thoughts again that the 1% wants to keep pulling you back into, and the news and everything that's going on. Maybe this would be a great weekend to take a detox from social media, from all of this stuff that keeps making you fearful and angry, and do this anger exercise, the one in the I'm Ready for My Breakthrough, and use it to just squeeze out all these places that you're getting triggered, so that you don't have to live your life avoiding fear. You can stand up to fear, and you can say, no, I'm not going to be controlled by you anymore. I'm taking charge, and now I know how to clear you. I know how to remove you from my energy field. So this is what you need to do on a regular basis. So let's measure anger. Still a little bit, 15%. Now, maybe we could have been done and say, oh, that was good enough. But I like to get all the way to the bottom of things. So let's see where that anger is. It's in your root chakra, all the way out to the 15th layer. That's the 1%, right? They want to keep you angry, off balance, out of your core, feeling unstable. That's how they survive, is on these darker energies. So just drop that anger down your grounding. Excellent. Yes. So this is how I maintain a joyful spirit every single day. This is how I help my clients do the same. And you can help yourself by practicing this every single day with that free 20-minute meditation in both links in Facebook and Instagram. And again, if you're showing up late, I'm encouraging you to do the anger exercise in the I'm Ready for My Breakthrough mini course. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today. And I hope you're feeling more joyful than when you showed up. Let's measure amusement so that when somebody calls you a fucking idiot, you can be amused by it. Okay, so let's see where amusement is. 100%. Excellent. Okay, great. So you're ready for the weekend. Go off and enjoy that. And I'll meet you back here on Tuesday. Yes, Terry's saying she's lighter, feeling lighter. All right. I know you're all feeling great because I can feel it. All right, TGIF. See you on Tuesday. Sending much love and blessings. Namaste.